Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live for Financial Fitness Friday. Our apologies, we didn't kick off Mindset Monday. There was a lot going on. We run businesses and life happens, so our apologies for that. So, one thing I want to go over today, and this is going to be great for both entrepreneurs and operators and just people in general, right? Is things don't always go the way you guys expect, right? Markets go up, down, sideways. You think of like prior to COVID, no one would ever think that the world would shut down for 2 weeks. But here we were 6 months later, still dealing with issues. So what I want to go over with you guys is how to prepare for that stuff, how to prepare for what you really can't. And business, it's tricky. Personal, it's tricky. But here's the deal: the people that do, they're the ones that make an absolute killing after it. Like this is a way that you can actually do this and then set up generational wealth. Because a lot of times what people don't realize is you're going to make good money in good times, but in bad times, okay, if you are positioned the right way, you can really take advantage of it. And that builds generational legacy type wealth. All right. So as an operator, there's really three things you can do to prepare for emergencies, right? Everyone talks about having 6 months of your operating capital, meaning whatever it costs you to run the business, have 6 months of that on hand. Me personally, I don't love that idea because that money could be going to growth or for other things. Like if you are a good operator and you can make 10, 20, 30, 40% on your money, you're going to want to keep putting that in there. All right. So that to me has always been challenging. So what I would tell you is if that is the case, you can have that cash. You could have 3 to 6 months of operating capital. The other things that you could do is have a line of credit open, right? A line of credit can cover a lot of that when you're in bad times. So you can go in and draw. Or my personal favorite is have a corporate treasury. Okay. People don't understand this concept. I'll tell you exactly what I did and how to do it. But have a corporate treasury of appreciating assets. So right now, had you been buying gold the last, 2 years ago or steadily, and that was your corporate treasury, well, you'd be up a lot. It's gone up from 2,200 to now 4,300. Same thing, Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin and XRP are a better corporate treasury, and I'll tell you why. One, it's much easier to store. You just get a hard wallet and you put it on a hard wallet, and it's safe. And so, two, it appreciates just as fast, if not faster. And three, it's very liquid. When I say liquid, I mean if you need it, you could transfer it over in a day, right? You could turn that Bitcoin into cash right away. Whereas physical gold or physical silver, you would actually have to go and sell it. And then there's usually a pretty good fee or discount for doing that, right? And so that's why I don't love the gold and silver idea, especially for operators and entrepreneurs. But those three things, right? Have the cash on hand. Again, risky because you could be using that cash to make and earn additional money. Two, have a line of credit open. If you need help with that, I'm happy to help you with that. And then three, the corporate treasury of Bitcoin and XRP. That stuff will save your bacon. All right. And so, and that's going to appreciate fast and it's liquid. Now, as an individual, you should really have 6 months of cash, okay, that it costs you to operate your household and whatever else you need. All right. And so here's what happens. And there's been a lot of shows that me and Dave have gone over that go and say, hey, you need a savings account, an investment account. Well, if you've done that, right, you split the pie, let's say 25% fixed cost or 35% fixed cost, 15% variable costs, and then 25 and 25, 25 to savings, 25 to investing. If you do that consistently and the market takes a massive dip, and I do think that is going to happen, and I'll tell you guys why in a little bit. But if you have that, you can use that cash to buy things that are going to be much, much more valuable in the future. Okay. I've done it. I did it. I was fortunate enough to do some of that in 2012. I was fortunate enough to do some of that through COVID, and it did make a big difference. What I will say to you is this, and then I'm gonna have Dave weigh in here. I do think that we're gonna see that a pretty big dip here. Okay, the reason I'm thinking that we're gonna see that dip is now we're starting to see these cracks I've been talking about, and something came out on Real News, Not Bullshit. Okay, they were the first ones to report it. Amazon went ahead and is really, they've always mixed, they've always been at the cutting edge, whether they report it or not, of mixing AI with robotics. Okay, the only reason why they want to mix AI with robotics is to get rid of people. Well, now it was just reported that they're investing in a lot of humanoid robots, and they're not calling it this, and it's going to lay off about 160 to 180,000 people. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. That isn't good for anybody, okay? Because other companies are going to follow suit. And if you guys really want to fight this, and now is the time. Now is the time. Actually, the time was 3 years ago. But if you really want to fight this, I would share that everywhere and stop shopping on Amazon. I know it's convenient. I know it's easy. I know it's at your door, same day or the next day. Okay. However, that convenience is going to kill you. Okay. Because if other companies start doing this, if there's no pushback on this, if it doesn't hit them in their numbers, right, then guess what? Everyone else is going to follow suit. So now is the time. And here's why I'm saying this, guys. And this is why it's important for business owners. You're like, oh, well, I run a business. I don't care. I still need my stuff the next day. As a business owner, okay, when 160,000 people lose jobs, okay, if you're nationwide, you don't think some of them shop or spend money? You don't think some of that money circulates through your business? Of course it does. You'd be foolish not to realize that. All right. And so that's just Amazon, and that's just their first phase. So what happens if they roll out 2 or 3 more phases? What happens if Walmart does that? What happens as that trickle down and that cycles through? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. One, everyone's probably at some point going to have UBI, universal basic income, which would be terrible. Okay. 2, you're going to have way less customers to work with, way less clients, and your business is going to tank. And so now you're either going to have to adapt or die, and most people will die. Mm-hmm. Okay. This isn't an alarmist view. This is someone that really hates talking about this stuff, but it's the truth. So if I were you guys, I'd start getting really loud, really fast, and stop shopping there. Dave, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, convenience comes at a cost, and a lot of people associate that cost with savings for them, but they don't see the cost on the other side. And I think I don't know the exact quote, but Albert Einstein has a quote like that: with technology making people dumber and lazier, and they're not equipped, right? Like what you just said, it hits the fan. You know, people aren't equipped to deal with that. Everything's been easy, and it gets easier. Well, easier does a couple things. Number one, it does make you lazy, but also it doesn't give you a purpose either. I'm just gonna sit here, wait for my book, and that's it. Take up and waste time. So, Amazon, not surprised. Target, I read, cut 1,000 corporate jobs, right? So they cut 1,000 people yesterday, and those companies are going to have to compete. You see where Walmart is almost exactly like Amazon, like on their platform, right? They have different sellers, retailers, and so forth. You don't think that they're not already have their vision on what Amazon's doing? You don't think they're going to do it too? It's going to have a mass trickle down effect. It's going to create another different or set of competition than what Andy calls that ethical competition, right? It's almost like an arms race. It's almost like a war. It really is. So guys, keep your eye on that.
Yeah, but it's an arms race. Okay. That
it is a war.
Eventually the consumer is the one that's going to get crushed, because there's like consumers and small businesses. Okay. Yeah. So no one is going to be able to, no one's going to have their personal income where they can go and utilize your services or buy your product.
Yeah.
because Amazon cut everybody, Target cut everybody. And guys, I'm not talking about like some of these guys, so they're entry level jobs. I understand that, but entry level jobs are the starting point to kick off a career. Okay. And yeah, so if some of those guys are making, and we're just talking about like the jobs they're cutting, they're probably, payroll of like 40 to $80,000. But when you cut that many of them, guys, that's a lot of money that is going back into a company's pocket and not an individual who can spend money with you. Target isn't spending money with you guys. Amazon isn't spending money with you guys. Okay. And that is something that you absolutely have to be cognizant of. And if you guys aren't cognizant of it, if you don't get loud, if you don't share that and stop shopping there and hurt them where it hurts, right, with their income, this is going to continue, right? So it's 2 steps: get loud and stop shopping there. Go to the local business. Go to the local supermarket. Shop at places that don't do that, okay? Because if you don't, it will be too late. I'm telling you, this will happen. And then when universal basic income comes in, okay, the government is going to be providing for you. All right. Think about when you go to the DMV, guys. Is that a fun experience? Is that a pleasurable experience? Okay. Does that make you having a good day? Absolutely not. Well, guess what? This is no different than that.
The DMV is the absolute high class standard of how the government actually runs. It really is. You want to know why the government's is, and it doesn't matter, local, state, federal, just go to the DMV. Like it tells you everything you need to know. It really does.
Yeah. And guys, that's what you'll be doing. That'll be your healthcare. That'll be your income. That'll be everything. Okay. And everyone will have a miserable existence. And guys, just think about it. Like, I'm not wrong. This makes too much sense. The writing's on the wall. Okay. So that's something I would be really focused on.
Yeah. We're a consumer nation, guys. So like you have more power than you think, right? We're the largest consumers in the world. So like your dollar does matter, where it goes, whether you think it does or not. Collectively, it does.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And no one's pushing back on it. No. So I hope this helps, guys. Dave, thanks for the extra time.
Yeah, man.
And I'll give you, we'll catch up soon.
Be good.
All right.
See you.
Later.